begins to expose itself to other people. So big that other people notice it on us.
Hello.
Hey, little lady, hello.
Who is this?
You're looking cute as can be.
Is this someone I know?
You're looking mighty sweet.
Seymour!
No, it ain't Seymour. It's me.
Oh my God. I don't believe it.
Believe it, baby. It talks.
Am I dreaming this?
No, and you ain't in Kansas neither.
Something's very wrong here.
I need me some water in the raceway. Look at my branches. I'm drying up. I'm a goner, honey. Come on and give me a drink.
I don't know if I should.
Hey, little lady, be nice.
Do you talk to Seymour like this?
Sure do, I'll drink it straight.
The leaves are dry, poison.
Don't need no glass or no ice.
I'll get the can.
Don't need no twist of lime.
Here we go.
And now it's supper time.
So just another quick recap here. At this point in the story, Seymour has become tired of the media circus that's going on, and him and Audrey decide that they're going to run away together, leaving everything behind, including the plant. And then, shortly before this scene, Seymour tries to sneak out of the shop. So let's see what happens.
Feed me.
Under no circumstances.
Feed me.
I will not, so stop asking.
Feed me.
No, no more. I can't keep living with the guilt.
Tough titty.
You watch your language.
Oh, cut the crap. Bring on the meat.
Okay. I'll bring you meat. I'll run down to the corner and pick you up some nice ground round. How about that?
Don't do me no favors.
Look. It's my last offer, yes or no?
You sure do drive a hard bargain.
Done. Fine, great. Don't think you're getting dessert.
Which leads us back here to Audrey caught in the clutches of the plant. So let's see what happens when Seymour returns to the shop.
Get off of her! Get off!
Genesis 3:6 says, "The woman was convinced. She saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom it would give her. So she took some of the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too." I think that I wanted to analyze this scene when I started thinking about this movie because it reminds me a lot of what I feel when I read Genesis 3. When I read the story of Eve in the garden being deceived by the snake, I feel this level of empathy and this sadness because I already know what's going to happen, but I can't help but feel like shouting out to Eve as I read, "Don't do it. Don't listen to him. He's lying. He's only going to hurt you. And that's what I feel when I watch this scene too. I watch a woman who has never done anything to anyone, who has never hurt anyone, be deceived by someone with horrible intentions. And you can see it in the scene. She's clearly uncomfortable. Every time the plant tries to touch her, she has to brush the vines off of her. And it's clear that the plant has ill intentions, but she's still trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. She's still just trying to be nice and polite. And the request that the plant has made is not something astronomical. It's simply asking for some water. We, of course, as the audience, know that the plant has never drunk water. It's only wants blood, so we know what it's really wanting from her. But she just wants to help. She's a good person. And she sees a need. The plant is requesting water. And I feel like that's how a lot of us are sometimes. We're a little bit too friendly with things that we shouldn't be. A little bit too accepting of situations that on its face are compromising, and you can look into the situation and see that it's not something you should be in. It's clear to anyone who has any real common sense that this is a dangerous place to be, in the room with a giant plant. How many plants do you know have teeth? Teeth are only in animals and humans because we eat things. Yeah, there are some plants that eat things, but none of them have teeth. So looking in the mouth of a plant and seeing teeth should be a red flag. Again, like I said in the first video, way too many red flags are ignored. Now, I'm not judging Audrey, I'm not judging Eve. I'm just saying from hindsight is 2020, that these are things that should have been seen as suspicious at best. And I think, again, a lot of the things that we allow into our space and into our being are things that we shouldn't be making concessions for. Giving the plant water is not her responsibility. It's never been her responsibility. It's Seymour's. And there's nothing wrong with her wanting to help and be helpful, but that desire to be helpful and giving in to the request of the plant is ultimately what leads to her almost getting eaten. And I think that this is the situation that a lot of us are in with our temptation. We think, it's just a little thing, it's nothing too big. I mean, I can help a person out. I can, say hi to someone. I can talk to somebody. I can have friends. But I think we're a little bit too open to certain things. And I think this next scene with Seymour is a bigger show of what happens when you begin to compromise with temptation. I mean, look at what's happening here. Seymour has his bags packed. He's walking out, trying to sneak past the plant so it doesn't even hear him. Trying to get out of there, trying to get out of his situation. Trying to separate himself and get as far away from his temptation as he possibly can. But then it calls out to him. It calls him, says, feed me again, feed me. And he says, no, absolutely not. Under no circumstances. He stands firm. He's not going to feed it. He's not going to give in to that desire for more anymore. But then he has a thought. It's like, what if I feed it, but I don't feed it the same thing that I did before? I'm not going to go kill somebody and feed it to the plant. But what if I go to the butcher shop and give it something else? I mean, that way it gets something and I don't have to worry about, doing these horrible things just so I can feed it anymore. I can just go pay a couple dollars for a good steak and give it to the plant, and that should be fine. And it'll just have to take whatever I give it. But I think the mistake is thinking that feeding the plant something different and compromising would be better than just standing his ground and saying no. And he tried his best. I definitely commend him for it. And again, I'm not judging him. I'm just saying I can see how that might not have been the best option. And I say that from experience. If anybody who's watching this video, if you're subscribed or you just started finding these videos, I have another video on my channel a little while ago, me talking in the car about how I used to deal with a porn addiction, how I struggled with porn all the way up until even after being married. Like it was really bad, and it had a hold on me for a long time. But I have finally gotten to the point where I was like years separated, years of time where I hadn't watched any porn, and I felt good about it. But then something happened. The night before I started this series, the night I had the idea to do this series, I had a very lustful dream. I'm not going to go into details about what happened, but it was a very lustful dream, something that catered to my fleshly desires. And I wrote it off at first. I told my wife about it, and I confessed that I had this dream, and I was just letting her know what's going on. But I didn't take it as serious as I think I should have in hindsight. Because the week before, the week that I started the series, me and my wife had been on a social media fast. So we hadn't been on any social media or anything like that, only watching godly stuff, and I felt good. But then, the week after I got back on social media, which is why I've gotten so distracted, and it's been 2 weeks since I posted a video. And while I was on social media, it was just little things that started to pop up. Just maybe a low-cut shirt here, or just something small there. Nothing that I thought I needed to, confess or anything like that. But eventually, it got so bad that I ended up watching porn again. It was only that one day, but still, I ended up doing something that I hadn't done in years, something that I thought I was over. I thought I was good. I didn't need to watch porn. It disgusted me. But then I find myself back in that place, watching it again. And if I'm being honest, I'm just kind of ashamed, Like, I've already asked God for forgiveness. I've already confessed to my wife. Granted, I took a lot longer than I should have to do that because I was ashamed and because I was embarrassed. But I think that's what happens in these situations. You get caught up thinking, no, I'm good. I got this. I don't need to, tell everybody. I don't need to say anything about it. And it was just this one time, right? I can just let it go and move on. But that's the trick of temptation. You think by compromising or by letting stuff go one time, maybe not telling the person you should be telling that you did it, it'll be okay. It was just that one time, I can let it go. But that's how you get caught in the cycle. That's how Seymour got caught in the cycle. He said, okay, I'm not going to feed it blood anymore, but I'm going to feed it something. But feeding it anything, steak, blood, just giving into it again, is what leads to Seymour having to pull Audrey out of the mouth of the source of his temptation. And that's what we have to deal with every time. Every time we deal with temptation, we run the risk of either being devoured ourselves or having the people we love devoured by it. Seymour refused to give the plant anything, but made the concession of, I'll give you something, but I'm not going to give you what you want. So the plant decided it would take whatever it could get and made the call to Audrey, which led to Audrey coming to the shop and getting eaten. So Seymour almost lost the love of his life because he gave into it one more time. So now what? What's next for Seymour and Audrey? What's next for all of us in this fight against temptation? What do we do now that the temptation has stretched further than just us?
You okay?